are now listening to the War Report Podcast Network.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the College Loop Podcast, episode 125 of the College Loop Podcast. I am back in the studio after a little blunder happened with a set of keys, so I had to drive to Auburn on 2 nights ago, so that's why I missed that show. But I am here once again, joined by Mr. Tarr and Daniel Locke. Tarr, how you doing, buddy?
I'm great, man. Never better.
And I saw a jam sesh before the show. Daniel, how you doing, buddy?
Dylan, I'm great. Opening night for the Celtics. 20 seconds into the quest for banner number 18. I rep my Jason Tatum name and number T-shirt. Should be a very, very good year for the Celtics. They have the best roster in the league, and no one's going to be able to beat them. So
they're going to be an awesome second place Eastern Conference team because my Hawks are going 82-0. So
okay.
Well, it must suck not to have half of your roster named Jalen Williams.
Yeah, no, it doesn't suck. It does not suck to not be in the Thunder situation.
If championships were built off of having players with having the most players with the same name on the roster at the same time,
you guys would be a lock.
We would be like the premier dynasty in the NBA.
That's right. Unfortunately, that's not how that works. So
hey, 2024 NBA draft, I smell another J Will combo. Get the triple option J Will edition to Oklahoma City, please.
Basketball triple option. I'm interested.
J Will lobs it to J Will with the slam. Or
yes.
J Will with the rebound. J Will with the lob. J Will with the slam. That'd be just pure bliss for me.
Breaking news, I just received word from a friend of mine who works for the Memphis Redbirds that she successfully snagged a Sonny DiChiara bobblehead from the Rocket City Trash Pandas convention.
That's awesome. How many did she get?
She is sending it to the College Loop immediately.
So who gets that?
It's mine. Anyways.
2 minutes, 15 seconds in, it's time to start talking about Auburn sports. The Auburn Tigers take on the Mississippi State Bulldogs on Saturday at Jordan-Hare Stadium. Sometimes you got to take the reins. That's one of them. Let's talk about that game.
Well, before we do that, we're getting to our mid-season position grades, actually.
Oh, yikes. That's on me. It's a little embarrassing.
It's okay.
Yeah, we are technically in the mid-season form. Auburn's on a 4-game skid. And since we missed it a couple weeks ago to do this, we are going to grade how each position has looked thus far going into the 8th game of the season with a nicer 4-game stretch ahead than the last 4.
Couldn't get worse.
Well, it can. Tarr, let's talk about the quarterbacks for a little bit.
Okay. You want to go? Can we just go and lead with my mid-season position grade for the quarterbacks?
Yeah. D.
I don't even think I need to expand on this one. Like, I don't. Like, there's been no consistency, no stability. No one has the clear answer. So I'm just going to leave it there and say that this position group sucks. Period. Yeah, and it may not be to the fault of their own, but it has stunk. Daniel?
I'm a good same. I've not been satisfied, and I think it'll need to get better if Auburn wants to go to and potentially win a bowl game.
Yeah.
You got to lock in that Birmingham Bowl somehow. And you can do that by staying true to one quarterback, which is why I'm also going to be rocking, given the quarterback room at D here. Like Tarr, everything Tarr said and more. No stability. Pick a dude.
Yeah, mine's not specific. And I saw an interesting comment on our last show about like not seeing any podcasts that hate on the quarterbacks as much as we do. Maybe it's because we go 3 times a week that we hate on more because we just have more volume. I'm not specifically hating on one athlete here, but the management of that room has been an F. I'm being generous by giving them a D. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, and by the way, I don't think we hate on the quarterbacks that much. I mean, I am the like sunshine pumper for Robbie Ashford. I had his jersey right there, but I wore it last week and I had to wash it, so it's not there right now. So that's not me saying no to my boy, but I feel like we've been pro more than other podcasts have been.
We've been pro fix the quarterback room. I'm sorry if that hurts your feelings.
That fits better. Now to go to position group that does not make me want to cry every Saturday. We got the running backs. Got the mixture of Jarquez Hunter, healthy Damari Alston, which we'll be getting this week. Hallelujah. Right. Brian Battie, Jeremiah Cobb, Sean Jackson, and Justin Jones. I've got a couple of touches.
I'm going to start here. I'm going to go with the B. I kind of want to say B minus, but they've been the whole offense. I mean, let's just call it a spade here. The entire offense has been living and dying by the success of that running back room. And it's not their fault that Auburn's one-dimensional and they're getting shut down a lot. Jarquez Hunter finally looked like Jarquez Hunter against Ole Miss. If he could continue that coming down this stretch, I think that's entirely fruitful. But I cannot give this group an A. I can't. There's just not been enough help that they've gotten elsewhere, whether that be schematics or up front, for me to say, oh yes, this is a shining A plus, and on a group that I was super high on before the season came in. So I'm going B here, Daniel.
Yeah. Obviously super high on it before the season. I thought for sure we were going to get a 1,000-yard rusher. Doesn't really look like we're even anywhere remotely close to that at all. So I've got to go B.
Also going to go B here. Still have yet to have gotten a 100-yard rusher from our running back in the game, I believe. And I think the closest we've gotten to Jarquez, I think, against Ole Miss, got 95 yards. Other than that, it was Peyton Thorne. Need the running back's room to step up immensely going through the rest of the week. So I'm going to be giving him a B here just because I've just not seen enough consistency out of whoever's getting the most touches.
Absolutely. I agree 100%.
Wide receivers, not counting tight ends, just wide receivers.
C. This group, while the quarterback play has not been consistent, the mismanagement of that position certainly has a direct impact on their success. The drop passes this year have been horrendous. There have been a lot of them in a lot of big situations. You catch a couple footballs that were catchable footballs against UGA, and you find yourself in a completely different boat right now. You can take away everything that Georgia did or didn't do in that game. You can point to a lot of dropped opportunities, missed opportunities, and critical moments. And that's not just Georgia game specific. That's just the ones etched in my mind the most, for not just the obvious reason of that, but also the fact that that's a game that you were right there in. And then they're not getting the touches for me to be able to see anything else. It's the sample size is small and it's bad. It's really bad. So I'm going C here, and I still think that's generous. So Daniel.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with a C. I haven't been pleased. I had really, really high hopes for it. Obviously an impact transfer with Rivaldo Fairweather, guys who have been on this roster for, I don't know, what feels like forever, and Tyler Fromm and Brendan Frazier. And just still haven't been blown away by what I've seen. So hopefully that changes down the stretch. It'd be nice for Auburn to get some dependable play from these guys. Some big targets for Peyton Thorne or Robbie Ashford, but so far this year it just hasn't really done it for me.
Yeah, I'm also giving the wide receiver room a C as well. Came into the season with a lot of hype. You had Shane Hooks, who is, Hollywood. You had the home run target and Jair Shorter. Caleb Burton has got on the field sometimes, not a lot, and we talked about how fast he was when he got here. Look at the guys who returned. Jay Fair is the reason this grade is probably as high as it can be, because Jay Fair's been balling out whenever he gets the ball, and a particular quarterback named Peyton Thorne isn't throwing him bullet passes into triple coverage to kill him. But overall, this wide receiver room is C. The drops are heavy. They're not getting targets regardless. That affects the grade as well. Just need to see a lot more from them for me to give them any higher than just average.
And they're going to get their chance to make up for it coming down the stretch. And if they play at this consistent level that they've played at to this point this year, I'm going to tell you in our post game, I'm going to go and tell you guys, not post game, but our postseason, I'm going to give them an F, because this is an abysmal failure if you continue on this trajectory.
I mean, two positions on this offense probably getting an F alongside the wide receivers if this continues, and that being the people throwing it to the wide receivers.
Sure.
And next position we got on here is the tight ends. I believe that they have deserved to be separated from the wide receiver room.
Oh, that was the wide receivers on the last one?
Yeah.
I did tight ends. Oops.
That's okay.
You do wide receivers this time.
That's funny.
Well, I'll go and let you fix that real quick and reprimand yourself, Daniel. So you go ahead and grade this one first.
Okay. Yeah. Not too great. I'm gonna go to C there as well. Jay Fair's obviously been pretty good. Shane Hooks, I was really hyped for that one-handed grab he had in the second scrimmage. Caleb Burton, he's finally gotten some action, but long way to go. But where I'm really disappointed is on Nick Mardner. This guy transfers from Cincinnati. I'm higher on him than a lot of people coming in. He has a great spring, a great summer. We hear nothing but good things. I don't know if he's gotten a target yet. So
I mean,
just not really.
He got one.
He got one. Okay, he said one target. Call him Mr. Landon King. Good for one catch a season. Even though I don't think Nick caught it.
He didn't get a catch. No, that was the ball that Peyton Thorne threw 20 yards above Nick Marner's head.
Yeah,
but it's a target.
It is a target.
Sure. Yeah. So actually, I'm gonna have to downgrade that to a D. They just haven't been great. And I've already done my tight ends, so
you're good. I'll pick up for the tight ends from here. I like C again. I know a lot of people are going to talk about that Rivaldo Fairweather's been a bright spot on this offense, and he has been when he gets the ball. This room of tight ends, I don't think it's a lack of ability. A lot of this, once again, folks, quarterback pending. And neither of these guys have found their John Samuel Shanker yet. And I say that because Samuel Shanker, he was, I think that Christian Clemente coined this, all reliable. And that's fine. That's what you need a tight end for. To be your reliable check down, dump off, or to get physical. And a lot of these guys can do both of those things in terms of run blocking, pass blocking, or being a good option to dump off. They've not gotten the touches for it to freaking matter. I mean, they've gotten the touches comparatively against the receiving room, but I mean, like, I'm not entirely sure that I couldn't be in the same conversation for catchable targets in the receiver room. And these tight ends have just not done anything exceptional to wow me. If I'm going to upgrade it to be a C+ or a B-, just because Fairweather's done some things, certainly has. I'm not going to take away his touchdowns. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to take away the touchdown against Cal unless I'm not making that up right. The Cal touchdown left side of the end zone.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm not going to his last touchdown or just that touchdown in general.
I was making sure that one happened, and I didn't just envision that in my brain. But I'm not going to say they've not done good things, but I don't think they're good enough. You know what I mean? I'm going to go C still.
Yeah, this is a position where I'm a little bit more lenient about them not getting the targets. I'm going to give the tight end room a B. I feel like of the blockers that they've been pretty good at blocking. Luke Dills came in and blocked very well. You've had standout games from like Brandon Frazier and Michael Riley-Ducker, guys who still come in and block very well. Rivaldo Fairweather just being a security blanket whenever the ball is thrown to him, and has done a very good job of doing that. I think this elevates it to a B to me. And I just think it's a bright spot on this offense that doesn't get utilized as much as it should be.
Sure. I'll buy into that.
Yeah. And just to go to another disappointing position, the offensive line.
Call me Cookie Monster. C is for Cookie. I don't know if this is all on them. The schematics in this offense certainly have not helped them at all, and the play calling has not helped them at all in terms of allowing sacks and allowing tackles behind the line of scrimmage. I don't really know how much that they're their fault for that. This line's certainly improved year to year, and I think that's the reason people aren't complaining this year as much as they have been in years past, because it is certainly the best line offensive line Auburn's had in quite some time. But I mean, it's not like they're a lights out, shut down the opponent's front seven. It's not like they're not giving up sacks, but that's not all their fault either. So I mean, it's a lot of these positions on the offense. I mean, almost every position on the offensive side of the ball is quarterback pending, right? But I can't grade them above a C. Daniel.
Yeah. Best O-line Auburn's had since 2017. That's great. But the bar is kind of on the floor. The offensive line from a year ago was one of the most pathetic things I've ever laid my eyes on in my 20 years of life.
Agree.
It was abysmal. And I'm not going to use the word they there, because there are individual pieces from that group that have proven that they can be solid. Mr. Cameron Stutz, giving you your flowers. But oh my God, it was one of the most pathetic things I've ever seen in my life to see those guys try to block somebody. They couldn't get push on San Jose State. They couldn't get push on Western Kentucky. They couldn't get push on Missouri. They couldn't get push on a very, very mediocre Mississippi State front seven. They sucked. It was horrid. So to go from that to what you got now in just a year is honestly pretty impressive. So I'm going to be generous because I believe in just being generous with grading sometimes. So I'm going to go C+ there. But I'll revoke that very fast if needed.
Yeah, I'm also going to be rocking with the C here, and this is getting kind of close to just it being a D. And that's strictly not because of the blocking not being good. It's because the amount of big plays they had called back, the amount of pre-snap penalties that have happened.
Yeah.
Gunnar Britton might go down as one of my worst takes of the season. He has just not proved to be as good as he was advertised to be. It just has been a rough overall season for this O-line, an O-line that was highly regarded going into the season, and I've just been very, very average. And like Daniel, like you said, best O-line since 2017, and that's just a step over the bar, and not a lot of great all-around games from this offensive line, I must say.
Agreed.
But now to move to a side of the ball that has been a little bit of a bright side to this team. Flip it over to the defense. Start off with those big boys up front, the defensive line. This is accounting for the edge rushers and the defensive ends as well.
I think in comparison to what we expected, I think this group has excelled. I do, and I don't think that's a blazing hot take. I think most people would agree with me there. I'm going to go B. I know that there's not been a production of TFLs or sacks at the level that an elite defense would be able to generate, but I think that this group's done a great job keeping Auburn in ball games. And to be completely transparent with you, Philip Montgomery ought to buy all those guys, not just the other side of the ball, but he ought to buy that entire defensive unit as a team dinner, because they really have shut down opponents on levels that I've previously didn't believe in. I mean, what they did against Ole Miss is impressive, folks. Getting to Jackson Dart and getting him uncomfortable. Now, granted, that's going to fall into your DBs locking people down, and we'll talk about them in a minute. But what they did last week, I was still impressed with. I was still enthused with. This group has been impressive. I'm going to go B. I'm impressive. I want to qualify my statement compared to where we thought they would be. If this is the benchmark for what it's going to be under Hugh Freeze, folks, you should be happy. Like this is your benchmark. You should be in good shape. Daniel, your thoughts?
Yeah, I've been satisfied with the defensive line. The rush defense hasn't always been what I would like, but pass defense, they're getting it done, which I really feel like has a lot to do with how good the secondary is. Opposing receivers are having trouble getting open, giving the defensive line more time to get to the quarterback. But yeah, I've been pleased. I'm going to go with the B.
Agree.
I'm going to rock with the B. Marcus Harris has been an absolute dog.
That guy has made some money this year.
Keldrick Falk has been a dog now that he has gotten a starting job, and did very well against Ole Miss as well. Edge rushers, Jalen McLeod has had some games where he's absolutely stood out. Elijah McAllister, a big leader on that team. Jason Jones is just a guy that I need to see a little bit more from. That's a little spoiler for next segment. But, yeah, defensive lines overall B. I think they've done a pretty good job for what they've been coagulated into.
And for the personnel they have. I mean,
exactly, yeah. I mean, you got a bunch of guys that, you brought in a bunch of transfers and you don't know if they're going to work, and most of them have. And yep. Keldrick Falk, a true freshman coming in and absolutely dominating at the line. So it's a huge plus there. Now for another position that I feel like all of us can agree, out of every position on the field, has more than excelled our expectations for how it was going to perform this year. The linebackers.
They've excelled so much, I'm going to give them a B. I've been impressed in terms of Auburn's still not the run-stopping team that you want them to be right this moment. They're not. And they're not necessarily the get to the quarterback team the way you want them to be, and that's just personnel, and that's just getting fresh legs and getting deeper. But this linebacking core has held it down, man. I've been thoroughly impressed given my expectations. So I'm also going to give them a B. Daniel.
Yeah, I was with you. I thought this linebacker core was going to be abysmal, and they were going to deserve a rant like last year's offensive line got out of me. But I've been pleased. Larry Nixon III, Austin Keys, Eugene Asante. Oh my gosh, he's been great. So I've been pleased, and I think that there's only room to get better.
Eugene Asante has made some money this year too, by the way.
Oh,
Agreed.
Yeah. And I'm also going to be rocking the linebacker room with a B here as well. Every player that Daniel said, Eugene Asante, Austin Keys, Larry Nixon III, have all performed very, very well. Austin Keys even came out and was making plays right out with the club on his hand. So that kind of and the only knock against this linebacker room I have is the fact that those starters can't stay on the field the entire game because the other two guys behind those two or behind those three, I don't really enjoy watching play football. But that's neither here nor there. But Tarr, I know you're ecstatic to talk about this position. The defensive backs.
This is the only time I'm gonna give one. It's an A. And people are gonna call me crazy. You're gonna look at the numbers and the points that opponents have put up against Auburn. I mean, at some point you're gonna get gassed and you're gonna get burned. But in terms of limiting chunk plays, Auburn's been great. That secondary has been great. They've been locked down. There are going to be times when you're playing a receiving core like LSU where guys are going to torch you. They're going to be NFL-ready wide receiver. Hell, they're going to be NFL-ready freshmen on the other side of that line. But Auburn's got those too in the secondary. I mean, I don't even have to start listing off these names for you guys to know. I think the individual player I've been least impressed with has been DJ James. Some way, somehow, and we thought he was really going to get his bread this year. But I mean, you can go around that room and just look at individually. These guys are locking people down and locking people down. They probably shouldn't. I mean, let's not forget. Unless my memory served me incorrectly, Donovan Kaufman at one point locked up Brock Bowers.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell? And he did back-to-back plays. Okay, they are playing above even the ceiling I thought that they had. This group's good, man, and there's so much young talent in there, and you're going to continue to add players. We're going to talk about that in a little bit, but you're continuing to add to this room. I think the defensive back room, they have been the standard for what Auburn football should look like this year. Daniel, your thoughts?
Yeah, defense backs. I'm gonna go an A-. They've been very, very good. They've gotten the job done pretty much every game except for LSU. But like you said, that LSU, what they've got on the amount of firepower they have on the offensive side of the ball, yeah.
And Malik Neighbors is going to be an all NFL receiver.
Yeah, for sure. It's not quite what we saw from the Bayou Bengals in 2019, but it's not that far from it.
Agreed.
Really, really good. So I can let that go. That game's the reason why I'm going from an A to an A-. But outside of that, I've been really pleased. You didn't see them get torched by Jackson Dart too bad, which I was scared of. So they've done good, and kind of I'm with you on DJ James, and I don't think he's been particularly bad. I think he was just so hyped up compared to everyone else that everyone else has really stepped up, so he just hasn't had to do as much. You're not hearing his name called, which is it's typically good if you're not hearing a DB's name called. Because that means you're not getting torched.
I think for DJ James, what he needs is a pick coming down the stretch and to play really, really solid lockdown football. So that when he goes into the combine and pro day, the recency bias is fine. I think that serves him well.
Luckily, he doesn't have a real big game against a big time receiver until the Alabama game. He'll be on Jermaine Burton. It hurts me calling him a big time receiver,
but he can still lock down the guys he's covering over the next 4 games.
Oh yeah, well, I'm just saying it helps to have guys who are not going to be NFL caliber receivers down this little 4-game stretch. I mean, Will Shepherd of Vanderbilt maybe could be one, but down this last 4-game stretch,
I think 1 pick in no tutties, you're in great shape.
Yeah, I think he's had a bad game against Ole Miss, but this DB room, I'm also going to give an A. I mean, you held Brian Johnson, is that his name, the wide receiver 2 at LSU, and Malik Neighbors under 100 yards. Yeah. The wide receiver 3 went off, but
They've got 3 dudes that are going to play on Sundays. They have 3 guys that are going to play on Sundays.
And if you don't remember that game whatsoever, Auburn put up 18 points. Like Auburn's offense was not in that game. Your defense only do so much. But, I mean, I got to bring up the guy no one's brought up yet. Jay Simp has been absolutely balling out this year. 4
He's
interceptions.
made money.
Oh, yeah. I don't think there's anybody in this Auburn defense who has skyrocketed up draft boards as much as Jay Simp has. UJ Asante has arguably, but I don't think it's as big as Jay Simp. Good safety is rare to come by in the NFL. But yeah, the CB room is definitely an A. You're seeing some flashes from Cam Lee. He's had some games where he's definitely a true freshman, but overall, I mean, he's got the mechanics. He's got the.
That guy's gonna play on Sundays too.
We got at least 2 more years out of Cam Lee,
and I cannot wait. His junior and probably last year at Auburn is going to be so fun. It's going to be so fun.
What are the odds that in year 4, Connor Lew, Keldrick Falk, Jeremiah Cobb, and Cam Lee are all going to be on the Auburn show?
Not high. Not high at all. But that's a good problem to have. Those are the kind of guys you want to come through the program.
Yeah.
Recruit on a 3-year cycle. Who cares?
Yeah, 3 and out's not a bad thing to do. 1 and done is abysmal. I hate it. Bring back Kazakakoro. He's got time.
Jesus, the basketball reference was crazy.
I'm wearing the shooter shirt. I gotta rep. But last position we're gonna talk about today, the special teams unit: punters, kickers, holders, long snappers, the works.
You have the numbers in front of you on what McPherson is on field goals?
I believe he's 6 for 6.
Yeah. A minus just because the punting's Chapman's not been like all there.
Yeah, 6 for 6 on field goals, 22 for 22 on extra points. Marshall Myers also 1 for 1 on extra points.
Yeah, I'm going A minus just because Chapman's punting's not always been there, but it's usually there.
I'll go A minus just for vibes.
I'm gonna give it a solid A. I love special teams. I've not seen a bad hold all year. It's been like 1 bad snap.
Well, that's because Jax McFadden built the culture.
Exactly. Auburn is placeholder U. We had the 4-time SEC All-Academic Team holder, Jackson McFadden.
Academic All-American. Academic weapon.
Absolute academic weapon, Jackson McFadden, who never in his lifetime has had a bad hold. And actually, he's never dropped the target either. So, might be the best wide receiver in Auburn.
Might be the greatest player in the history of Auburn athletics. Just saying.
It might be the greatest athlete, just in general.
Second greatest. Sunisha Lee won. Let's be real. All right.
So Suni, Jackson McFadden, Bo Jackson, Cam Newton.
Yes, that list makes sense.
I love that when you talk about best overall athlete, Charles Barkley is just not going to be on the list.
No, he was awesome, but no.
Great player. A little too big around.
Just play basketball. Anyways,
love you, Chuck.
Before that wraps up our grades. Oh, Daniel, you gave A minus as well. That wraps up our grades on position groups for the mid-season. So we'll see where they stack up against the end of season grades and post bowl game grades. Bowl game pending. That being said, before
Birmingham.
That's right, Birmingham. We will return. Innisfree Pub. We are coming home. Anywho, before we get to the rest of our conversation for today's show, I want to make sure to remind everybody that if they want to pick up their own Feelin' Loopy t-shirt, College Loop War Report co-branded, most comfortable shirt you will ever own, you can head over to www.thewarreport.com, pick up your very own for $25. If you don't feel like typing that in your search bar, no problem, neither do we. We link it in the description to all of our shows. So make sure you go pick up your very own Feelin' Loopy t-shirt. Once you purchase that shirt and you get it, use your front-facing camera or back-facing camera. I don't really care. Use your iPhone camera, your Canon camera. Take a photo of it and upload it to Twitter. And use hashtag Feelin' Loopy. That's feeling without the G. And tag us in the post. So we will make sure that we throw it up on the next show stream. I know a couple of people are working on getting those. I know the shipments are a little bit delayed at the moment. So we'll make sure we get those.
James Barnett.
I know a couple of people that are still waiting on their shirts to come in. So when your shirt comes in, make sure you do that. We will make sure that we throw it up on the stream. Also, as always, make sure you like, subscribe, ring the bell to this YouTube video. Drop in your comments, your score predictions. I know that you guys just recorded our preview show for this week. Daniel and Dylan held that one down this week. I'm sure it's going to be awesome. Looking forward to hearing it. But go ahead and give us your score predictions. Give us your midseason grades. Give us your players who need to ball out. Comment on anything else we're going to talk about in the rest of the show. And share the show with a friend. That is
Don't forget,
huge.
closest prediction gets on the show.
That's right. There's always
we didn't have one this week because all of you picked Auburn to beat Ole Miss.
And you know what? For 3 quarters, I understood your logic. But that's neither here nor there. Thank you guys for your continual support for us right here on the College League. You guys are the reason we get to do what we get to do. Colin will return once we have 700 subs, so let him eat. Right now, he's in hibernation because we refuse to eat him. How about feed him? He is currently starving. All right, guys, let's go and talk about guys that need a ball out this weekend against Mississippi State because Auburn needs a damn SEC win. Right now, this is the second place bottom feeder bowl. There will actually be a bottom feeder bowl here in a couple weeks for the SEC West. Auburn desperately needs an SEC win. Hugh Freeze, Mississippi native, wants to get this one over Mississippi State. Couldn't pull it off over Ole Miss. And I want to hear from you guys first, and then I'm going to wrap it up, and I'm going to go completely different direction with this one, but I'm going to wrap this one up a little bit differently. Daniel, who needs to step up to the plate? We can go offense and defense. You can just go one player. You can go a couple guys, whatever your heart tells you to do for Auburn to defeat this god-awful Mississippi State team.
On the offense, I'm going to go with both quarterbacks, the offensive line, the wide receivers, and the tight ends and the running backs. I just want to see some offensive cohesion. There's nothing like I'm not one of these people who I don't need a 55-49 shootout every time, but there's nothing that will make me not want to watch a game more than just sucky offense. Like I just can't do it for an extended period of time. And, covering Auburn, I've had to do it all year. So just please throw me a bone. Just look good offensively for your boy. I won't ask again this year because this will be a refresh I can use to get through the rest of the season. But the whole offense and on defense, everyone just keep doing what you're doing. Jason Jones, I'm going to need you to step up, my friend.
I like that one. Dylan, your takeaways, guys that need to ball out, and how Auburn needs to step up and actually get better this week.
Yeah, so I'm just going to go one-on-one. One defensive player I need to step up. Daniel took him from me, Jason Jones. Mississippi State, not an air raid team anymore, kind of more balanced, but with Mike Wright in, they're going to be running the ball a little bit more. They got Woody Marks starting a running back, I believe. Jason Jones got to fill that gap. We got to play a little better than what I've seen. I mean, he's gotten the quarterback a couple of times. He hasn't got any sacks, but he's getting pressure. Just need to help lock down that run game. Offense, I have literally written down quarterback, whoever starts. That's what I need to step up. So whichever one's on the field the most, play better.
Yeah, I'd actually argue that quarterback, in parentheses, just one of you for the entire game would be really, really nice. I'm going to give my 2 players super, super quick, but then I've got one other, I think the most important part of this in my opinion. First off, I'm going to ask for 2 legacy games. I'll just go ahead and give you both of the names. Marcus Harris and Jarquez Hunter. I'd like a Marcus Harris legacy game and a Jarquez Hunter legacy game. And I say that because Jarquez looked really, really strong last week. He was certainly Auburn's bright spot, and in my opinion, on the offensive side of the ball. He looked like Jarquez Hunter again. Build off of that. Take advantage of that. Mississippi State caters to a passing offense, but you got to work the run game. And the Mississippi State defense is not overwhelmingly impressive. Move the ball. Be physical. Find the gaps. Be patient. You're running. That's such a big difference for him. Sometimes he gets a little happy and does not wait for one of the gaps to open up. And that is imperative that he takes care of that. Marcus Harris, put Will Rogers on his ass. Period. Just put him on his ass. Do it once, and I'm happy. Let me do it twice, and then we can start talking about the Marcus Harris legacy game. You do it 3 times, it is the Marcus Harris legacy game. Give it to me. I want to see it.
It might be kind of hard to put Will Rogers on his ass this week.
Is Rogers out? Did I miss that?
Yeah, he's out. Mike Wright.
Oh, I thought he was day-to-day. Is Mike Wright this week?
Yeah.
He's the
Vanderbilt
transfer. My apologies. Sorry, guys.
You're good.
We don't follow Mississippi State. You're fine.
I thought Rogers was day-to-day.
No, I think he's still out.
Is he?
What I've been hearing is Mike Wright.
Okay, I believe that. 100%. I thought he was day-to-day. That's why I was kind of still under that impression. Okay, anyways, regardless. Okay, put Mike Wright on his ass. That one feels feasible. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. The number one most important thing to me, the person who needs to have the biggest game on Saturday is Hugh Freeze. And that is just bypassing Philip Montgomery. It's like when you tell someone they need to speak to your manager. It's the same concept. It's the same energy. This offense has been atrocious. The play calling has been pathetic. It's been just downright bad. And Hugh Freeze being the offensive guru that his track record, his resume says he is, and his film says he is, take control of your damn offense when you know it's not working. Make adjustments on the offensive side of the ball. I got no doubt in my mind the defense is getting the job done, and the Ron Roberts and company are they're taking care of business in the locker room at halftime. I want to see visible improvements from quarter to quarter, half to half on the offensive side of the ball. And I want it to be clear as freaking day that Philip Montgomery did not get his way. I don't care what that looks like. This is coming from a dude that watches Philip Montgomery and Matt Canada call the plays for his two teams every weekend. I feel the same way on another levels with another connection. But this is a big opportunity for Hugh Freeze to say, look, I've got my hands on this. I've got a pulse on this. And negate any claims about him not being included in the verbiage, because if that's true, that's inexcusable, by the way. But negate any, Hugh Freeze does not really give a shit and he's punting the season. You can take that out of the equation. Put your foot on the gas, get up big, and never take your foot off the damn gas. Hang a disrespectful score on Mississippi State. I don't care. The way that I walked out my senior year with Auburn versus Mississippi State, I sure as hell don't care if you leave a bad taste in their mouth at Jordan-Hare Stadium. And nobody else in their right mind will. Make this an offensive clinic. Show people that you've actually gone through the required steps to make this group better. You're playing a much shittier opponent than you have in the last 4 weeks. Let's make it different. Let's make it look like it's functional. Hugh Freeze, very, very important game for him, in my opinion. I know that you can look at Mississippi State, whatever. If this is a turning point for this Auburn offense, and you can say too little, too late, whatever, just celebrate that you're moving the ball. And then that's where I want us to be on Sunday when we're recapping this game.
I mean, even if it's a turning point, I mean, you still have a good chance to finish 8-4 if your offense actually decides to step up and play.
8-4's on the table. It's so on the table. You just got to do it.
I was about to put Phil Montgomery as an honorable mention as well. You got to have some cohesion with your coach and coordinator. Somewhat there's got to be some, and if not, just fire him.
I think this is the week for Phil Montgomery to step up ship. I think it has left the port.
Yeah,
and thrown the passports off the boat. I don't think it matters anymore. That guy's out the door after this year. I feel comfortable in saying that. I have no sources that tell me that. I feel quite confident in saying that just because of the track record that coaches at Auburn have in terms of turning over coordinators. I got no reason to believe otherwise. Not saying that Hugh Freeze isn't different, but there's no way you go back and look at this year's film and say this worked, or we can build off this, because you can't. Throw it all, load it all into a cannon, blast it into the sun, start from scratch. Don't care.
I said on the war report, I said Arkansas and Auburn are the same team this year. So why don't we copy Sam Pittman and fire OC mid-season?
Yeah, I don't think it's that dissimilar. All right, Dylan, I want you to talk to me a little bit about the Jaylin Simpson Plankton Mentality thing, because I'm not a SpongeBob person, and this one flew over my head.
What?
I didn't watch. My parents were the anti-SpongeBob parents.
That's ridiculous.
Oh, Lisa.
Which makes me, in turn, an anti-SpongeBob adult.
That's ridiculous. You are a failure in every sense of the word, if I might say so myself.
Okay.
But, yeah, Jaylin Simpson has said that he is in that Plankton mentality, meaning ever since I've known Plankton, dude's had one goal. Get that Krabby Patty secret formula. He don't stop. Every episode he's on it. Need to get that Plankton mentality every game. That's what I want to hear.
So basically just lock in and only care about winning right now and block out everything else?
Exactly.
Okay, I can get down with that. Like, I just, when I heard Plankton mentality and I saw that on Twitter, I was like, guys, I really hate to tell y'all, my knowledge of SpongeBob is about as deep as like the Squidward meme of him looking out the window and Patrick and SpongeBob having a good time, and that's about it. I maybe have watched 10 episodes of SpongeBob my entire life.
Oh, wow.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's bad.
That's not changing either. Also, like, Abby and I are mutually agreed that our kids will not be SpongeBob kids. So.
Oh, hell no.
All right. Well, to the children and the future of Mr. Harrison Tarr and Abby Lafayette, if you wonder why no one finds you funny, that's why.
The ways that I could roast Dylan Larck on this show right this moment, but I'm going to choose to take the high road. Let's roll into some more recruiting news before we get over and discuss quickly about and another ongoing Twitter narrative. There's another commitment, potentially. There's a couple of another commitment potentially, but some other recruiting news. And the word commits just kind of etched in my brain as something that I have to tread lightly when I say for no other reason. No reason on this show whatsoever, but there might be a reason. Continue, Dylan.
Yeah, Auburn had picked up the commitment. We missed the graphic because it happened so late, but Auburn picked up a commitment of 3-star safety Caleb Harris out of Thompson, the 6'2", 195 receiver, who's on the same team as I believe another Auburn target.
Allegedly.
For I believe the class of 27, 28. We'll be almost 30 whenever this kid potentially
Don't worry about it.
Starts playing quarterback in college, wherever it may be. But yeah, athletic safety.
Born's 27.
There we go. Again, almost 30 whenever he starts playing college football. But yeah, big body safety, athletic, big plays all over the field. He's only like a point away from being a 4-star. So hey, 24/7, get him there. That'll help.
So yeah, committed to Bama, he'd have become a 4-star.
He would have jumped up to a 5-star, sir. That's how that works. But if he would have committed to Michigan, he would just tell the scouts straight up, like, "Hey, when I do this,"
that's right.
That's a whole other funny thing. But yeah, he had another commit, not another commit, but another target Auburn is going at is another safety, same height and weight, 6'2", 195. JUCO guy, Laquan Robinson out of Greenville, Alabama, is currently crystal ball to come to the Tigers, 3-star, and he has set his commitment date. It is November. He'll be committing to potentially Auburn, November 3rd, and no time yet set on that. Just November 3rd. He'll be announcing his commitment. So potentially Auburn can add, I believe, get their 3rd safety of the class with Laquan Robinson. Because Kinsley Faustin, Caleb Harris, and you're hoping that you get a veteran presence as well coming in after, I think Auburn's losing Simp, Puckett, Kaufman, safety-wise. So yeah, real good idea to replace those dogs with some more dogs. And other news before we get to the little 2-minute debate, Ronnie Brown has been inducted into the Georgia High School Sports Hall of Fame. So shout out to one of the best running backs to ever come through the Auburn Tigers, and also a legend of sorts for the Miami Dolphins. So shout out Ronnie Brown.
Big ups.
But there's been an ongoing debate on Twitter about the fact that Auburn has too many themed games. I feel like every week it's white out, blue out, navy out, orange out, vice versa. Stripe the stadium, which I like. Keep it one game a year.
It's only one game a year.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Just keep it that way.
And it looked good.
It did look good. I do think that them making everybody wear a certain color a game is a little... I think it's overdoing it.
Why?
Okay,
first off, Daniel, people on Twitter have too much time on their hands.
Yeah, I'm on Twitter a lot for work, but for personal stuff, I try to stay off it in my personal time just because, obviously we got a lot of Auburn fans who listen to this show, so I'm not going to alienate the base here, but Jesus, y'all are on some things sometimes. So sometimes a young man named Daniel J. Locke just needs a break from you all. Love you, but I'm like your uncle. I just need a break.
I just don't think it's that crazy.
I'm gonna say that if you're gonna do an orange out,
hold on, I ain't done.
I like to wear jerseys.
Y'all thought I was finished. Got to get my take here. People just complain about every little thing. Just if you don't want to wear the orange, fine. Just don't complain, man. Like you live in a great country, you probably have a job, healthcare, you probably have a family, and you're over here complaining about people asking you to wear a shirt. Give me a break.
Then just wear, just don't.
I like to rep the theme. I like to rep the theme, but I like to wear my jersey on game day, and orange outs I can't do that. So I'm going to use this as a factor of Auburn. Get orange jerseys.
That's such a ridiculous segue. I mean, listen to this. Okay. Game 1 every year is always the whiteout, right? Since they induced the whiteout, it's always the whiteout. Great.
Since we invented it. correction. Since we invented
Since
the whiteouts.
since its inception, Auburn has always made home game one against a trash school, the whiteout. And then let's look at this season. Samford, wear Navy. Why would you tell the rest of the fans to wear Navy? Oh, wait, because Samford's Navy. So their fans blend in with Auburn fans. So it looks like an all Auburn game. Next home game, Georgia, wear orange. Orange and red look very similar on TV broadcasts because your eyes can't differentiate it because of how the pixel resolution shows. Looks like an Auburn home game. Look at Ole Miss, stripe the stadium. Just looks cool. Great environment. And then what did they do? They put Navy next to the Ole Miss section. Make Ole Miss wear red. Oh, wait, they're sandwiched in between Navy and orange. Looks the same on the TV. Mississippi State, wear orange. Okay, that one's a little weird because they're like maroon, but they all wear maroon too. So it just looks like a different shade of orange on TV. And then you look at Arkansas, was a road game, so that doesn't matter. New Mexico State split the upper deck and lower deck between orange and navy. Great. They're not going to have any fans there. Perfect. Alabama, wear navy. That crimson's a very, very dark red. They're either going to wear crimson, they're going to wear white. If you wear white, it doesn't look like you're cheering for anyone. If you wear crimson, you're going to be easily blocked out by the navy. I understand why they do it. It's actually smart. All of this is, one, atmosphere building, and two, recruiting building. I mean, you look and you show, oh, this is our game against Georgia. And let's be honest, every single team color corrects those aerial shots, by the way. It's much easier. Correct. But every team does it. That's why Auburn told Auburn fans to wear orange if you go to the Penn State game because it's harder to color correct. Georgia, a bunch of people wearing red. Oh, okay. So we highlight the Georgia red and we're going to make it Auburn orange, and it looks pretty much the same. Looks like a home game. I'm not saying that's cheeky. It makes sense to me. I get it. Also, like, it's really freaking cool when the whole stadium, especially, I love navy outs. That is my favorite. The orange out's cool and all. Navy out almost looks like, it's like the closest thing you get to a blackout at Auburn, and it looks really fucking cool. Freaking cool. Excuse me. Don't even blur it.
The thing I hate about the orange outs and white outs is, and this is a hot take that I have that you don't like of mine. I don't like the pledge suits because they just ruin the theme anyways. Tradition. I understand it's tradition, and I talked to a friend on the podcast, Alex Barker, about this. If I had to rank my favorite to least favorite traditions at Auburn, the pledge suits would be like dead last.
That's not Auburn unique. That's everywhere.
I know. I'm just saying, Auburn-wise.
Why does it matter?
It's just like when we did the whiteout, and there's just this giant navy blob that's not even like
cool. They're pledges. Laugh at them.
Yeah, because they don't just have different color suits for the games like that, please.
That's also ridiculous. Why does it matter?
But I'm using this as a way to kind of force Auburn. Hey, I have white jerseys for whiteouts. I have navy jerseys for navy outs. Give me an orange jersey.
You do realize that no matter how much we say that orange is Auburn's primary color, like, nobody likes wearing orange, right?
I love wearing orange.
Yeah, like, you're in a severe minority. Most people do not like wearing orange. They like wearing the navy because it's so much more of a neutral color.
But hear me out.
Daniel, do you prefer to wear the orange or the navy?
I don't look good in orange, so navy.
I'm the same way.
I love orange. It's my favorite color, right after navy. But I like
my favorite color is Boston Celtics green.
And mine's yellow, since we're all throwing out our favorite colors here.
But Tarr, guess what? We are inching ever so close to Auburn basketball, men's and women's basketball. So we're going to talk a little bit about the ceiling and floor for both squads. So starting with you, because I know you, out of the three of us, I would say you probably love Auburn basketball the most.
I like it more than Auburn football.
There we go. What would you say the ceiling is for this squad led by Janai Broome and Bruce Pearl this year?
I mean, this group, man, Janai Broome, Chady Johnson, Denver Jones, Aiden Holloway, KD Johnson coming off the bench. I mean, I can keep going. This group is deep.
Leor Berman.
Leor Berman. Sky's the limit. I think that your ceiling is, truthfully, I think it's a Elite Eight Final Four appearance with a either regular season or conference tournament title. I think that's on the table. I think Auburn's going to finish fourth in the SEC this year. I think that Arkansas's got a group, Kentucky's got a group, and I never like to count on third or fourth places are always a toss-up to me. I think the third or fourth is very, very much in the mix. I still think Auburn is certainly a contender. Tennessee as well. I forgot Tennessee some way somehow. Sorry, Rick Barnes. But I think that they're certainly in the mix to win the SEC. I don't know that the regular season's in the cards, but this group is really talented, man. And they've got a tough non-con slate. I don't think that this is gonna be the prettiest non-con you've ever seen. It's a tough non-con slate that's gonna get them prepped for SEC basketball come January. Floor for me, I mean, round of like 32 bounce. You're going to the tournament, and I think you're getting out of the first round for sure. It just depends on your draw. So, Daniel.
Oh man, the sun must have come up early because it is pumping through my window. You know I love you,
Same.
Harrison Tarr, but yeesh, we gotta pump the brakes. Pump the brakes. This team could be very good. I'm not taking that away from you. It could be excellent. However, there are a lot of question marks for me. I just don't. With so many newcomers, you never know how deep you truly are.
Sure.
So that's a concern for me. If this team can stay healthy, I'm right there with you. Deep tournament run. However, if they start dealing with injuries, particularly like early on in conference play, and then just kind of dig themselves a hole, I think there's a world where they miss the tournament. I don't think it's likely, but I think that could potentially happen.
Whew.
What I think will happen, I see like a round of 32, Sweet 16 appearance. That's what I think will happen. Probably round of 32 and out, which is fine. Like that's in the terms of Auburn basketball's history. That's still easily a top 15 year all time at this point, just because this program's still building. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with that.
So you have, I'm just for graphics' sake, running that stuff. So your floor is missing the tourney, and your ceiling is
Sweet 16.
Sweet 16.
Yep.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't like the fact that I'm gonna copy Tarr for the ceiling, but I am. Elite 8 is where I think this team could end up if everything goes well. Janai Broom is going to be one of the best stretch fives in the SEC. Aiden Holloway, I think, is going to be just an absolute dog this year. Katie Johnson off the bench, I think, is going to be awesome. So I'm just going to straight up give him an Elite 8. Is their ceiling the floor? I'm going to give them round of 64 bounce is my floor. I think that's like at the base level. I think this team is definitely going to go to the tournament. I think they're that good. If you finish top 5 in the SEC, you're going to the tournament no matter what. So I'm going to give them a round 64 is my floor. Now, Tarr, for women's basketball, Coach Jay has assembled probably her best roster thus far.
For sure.
Andra Scott Grayson has returned for her 18th year of eligibility.
Right.
But in year 3, right? Year three of Coach Jay, where do you see this team hitting where can you see their highest of highs being?
That's tough, man. There's a lot of newcomers. Daniel, you'll have to fact check me here. I think it's 7 newcomers to this team. 8 newcomers to this team. This is a completely different roster, and I think they got a whole lot better. Auburn was kind of one of those bubble WNIT contenders this past year. I certainly think they're a lock for the NIT this year. I would actually go ahead and lock in my floor as being hosting a WNIT spot. I think that's certainly the case. They've got a hell of a non-con slate with Rutgers, Cal, UCF, Clemson, UAB. I mean, that's not the toughest stretch I've ever seen, but it sure as hell isn't easy. And then you go into I forgot Washington State's beyond me, but also throw Washington State in that mix. And then you go into a very, very congested SEC not tournament, but regular season slate where we know what South Carolina's doing. We know what Kim Mulkey and LSU are doing. We know what's going on up in Knoxville. Didn't have the year that we thought that they might have last year, but they certainly will be back. Ole Miss is right there. I think Auburn's certainly middle of the pack SEC, but I don't think they're a first round exit in the SEC tournament this year. I sure as hell don't think that's the case. I think that their absolute ceiling is being like a 16 seed, not 16. That's probably not feasible given their position, but a lower level seed in the NCAA women's basketball tournament. There's a lot of talent in the SEC this year, and I think Auburn is squarely smack in the middle. If they win a couple games that they shouldn't, I think they could be there. I am not banking on that. That is an absolute ceiling. I think an absolute victory is hosting a WNIT game this year. Then again, these newcomers have completely reconstructed the entire schematics. This is going to be a large 3-level scoring and true physical zone and man switch defense. I'm really excited for this year.
So your ceiling is first round.
Round of 64.
There you go. Just for again graphics.
Is it 64 or 32, Daniel?
I believe 64.
64. I thought about.
I think it's same size.
Same formatting. Yep, 64.
Yeah. Daniel, ceiling and floor for Coach J's squad this season. So you got the glasses.
See, now that I feel like the sunshine pumping's died down, the sun's gone down in my bedroom. I can take these off. But ceiling, I like what Tarr said. I think this is the year that Auburn gets back to the NCAA tournament on the women's side. However, I think they would be one and done, but still, that would be a success for sure. Floor, yeah, I'm gonna go. You just kind of like last year, you host a game in the WNIT tournament, and just kind of it's one of those years where it won't really show up on the stat sheet or in the win-loss column, but you made improvement.
We're about to go 3 for 3 here, boys. My ceiling is first round exit, just showing tremendous improvement throughout the years. I think she's been here, getting Auburn back to the tournament for the first time since when? Pre-flow, or did they get the? They
got there under flow. 2014 maybe.
I don't know.
That seems about right. Was it one of those Unique Thompson years?
I don't think Unique ever went to.
That's a shame. That's like Auburn basketball with Simeon Bowers. Just a great player who just kind of gets forgotten about. Oh, not Unique, but just because their team never got the success. But yeah, floor, I got them in WNIT hosting it. I think that's pretty much where we all got the same thought process on women's basketball this year. And, hopefully all of our ceilings hit. Well, maybe not Daniel's for men's basketball, but Tarr, I hope your ceilings hit for men's basketball. Actually, I hope they're wrong in the good way. I hope national championship, led by Leor Berman, who's going to be shooting lights out every week. Tarr, you want to let everybody know what's going to be going on this weekend outside of Auburn football?
Yes, absolutely. I was just going to let you guys know the last time Auburn went to the NCAA women's NCAA tournament was in 2019 under head coach Terry Williams-Flournoy. So Coach Flo made it on 3 different occasions under her tenure. She made it in 2019. She made it in 2016 as well as 2017. So 3 out of she had a nice little run. 3 out of 4. 3 out of 5. 3 out of 4. Excuse me. And then it went to shit. Anyways,
yeah.
You asked me where everybody can find us. I'm sorry. I know.
Well, if you're in Auburn this weekend by chance, and you also are going to go to the Auburn football game, but there's also other things going around the loop that is Auburn.
Well, that's a given. Hold on one second. I tabbed away from the schedule, so you may have to start without me. But I'm sorry. I totally tabbed away. I was zoned in, guys. I got in my whole Auburn women's basketball bag, and I just completely, when that happens, there's nothing you can do about it. Okay. So it starts on Friday night. If you're coming into town this Friday, the 27th, you can check out Equestrian is at home versus South Carolina. So there's an opportunity for you to do so and support Auburn women's athletics. Women's athletics there. Saturday, obviously, you've got the Mississippi State game. Sorry, I thought I saw a tennis match as well. As like a tennis match in the morning before that. What the heck? That would be a wild experience. And then that's actually all you have this week.
The volleyball plays on Saturday.
Volleyball plays in Tuscaloosa on Saturday.
Did Auburn athletics page just do me dirty? Because it looked like they said
nope.
Auburn plays
volleyball at Alabama in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. So if you want to drive a couple hours to go watch volleyball, be my guest.
if you want to leave right after the game, go straight to Tuscaloosa to go watch Auburn.
One of the choices of all time.
It wouldn't be a terrible idea, I must say.
And if you are so inclined and you want to watch after the equestrian meet on Friday, if you want to head to one of the downtown local eating establishments or grab something to drink, volleyball will be playing at Georgia. Those games are actually usually on over at halftime, I think, honestly. I've been in a handful of times at halftime. They've had volleyball on. So.
Okay. I was reading it wrong. Auburn soccer plays Georgia tonight as the show comes out. Exactly. That's where I messed up. They do play volleyball on Friday against Georgia. That's what you said.
In Athens, yes.
There's also a game going on Sunday, but it won't let me look at.
That's volleyball at Alabama. And there's also soccer, and that's in the SEC tournament in Pensacola, given that Auburn clinches.
There you go. I was confused by the Auburn calendar.
Yeah, it happens to me a lot. It's happened to me since undergrad.
But yeah.
Anyways, without further ado, Daniel Locke, tell me where they can find you, love you, and support you.
You can find me on Twitter or X at Daniel J. Locke. You can catch my written work for 1819 News, The Auburn Daily, or Braves Today. If you want to follow me on Instagram, see what's up in my life, I'm over there at the Daniel Locke. So yeah, hit me up.
Yes, sir. I'm Harrison Tarr at by Harrison Tarr on the Bird app. If you want to come hang out with me, give me your hot takes, and tell me when I'm wrong, I love that. But with that being said, I do want to mention, first off, thank you to all 660 some odd subscribers, right? 661 or something. Did I read that right earlier? 600 some odd subscribers that we have right here on the College Loop YouTube channel.
661.
661. So I was right. 661 YouTube subscribers. You guys are my 661 most favorite people in the world. You guys are the reason we are able to do what we do. So make sure you like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Hit like on the video. Drop your comments. Drop your score predictions. Tell us what your ceiling floor is for men's basketball, women's basketball, volleyball, soccer, equestrian, hot wing eating contest that we are going to launch in 2029. So just hold me to that. Anyways, that being said, thank you guys for your ongoing support. And if you want to pick up your very own College Loop Feeling Loopy t-shirt, that's co-branded with the War Report Podcast Network. That's available in the link in our description. $25. You'll never be happier than with a purchase in your entire life. Make sure you take a picture of yourself, of your dog, of the skeleton that you have out in front for spooky season decorations, wearing the College Loop t-shirt, the Feeling Loopy t-shirt. Use hashtag Feeling Loopy on Twitter. Tag us in it. We'll make sure we throw it up on the next stream. You guys are the absolute best. I'm going to let Dylan get us out of here. Peace and love. Everybody have a great rest of your weekend. War Eagle, enjoy the game this weekend. If you see any of us, say hi. Love all you guys.
I think all three of us are going to be there. I'm going to be in my Robbie Ashford jersey. So if you see the one person in the vicinity of the area wearing the Robbie Ashford jersey, that would be me. Of course, I'm Dylan Locke at @Tank on Twitter /X. It's just right there at Tank at YABOI the Tank. Also got my Instagram at Dylan Larck at DYLANLARCK. And of course, you have us right on the College Loop, where you should like, comment, subscribe. Leave your predictions for all Mississippi State. If you get the closest one, you get your name shouted out on the show. And of course, you should go follow us everywhere else: Twitter /X, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, the works. And if you want to listen to the audio version of the show by chance, I completely would understand why. I believe we're not the best to look at, especially Tarr. But of course, you have us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Amazon Music. And of course, with all of that being said, this has been the College Loop Podcast.